Hi, everyone. I'd like to tell you a story today, actually read you a story, and it's about a special little guy named Clyde. So let me introduce you to Clyde the Camel. He's pretty excited to be the star of the show today. So this is a story my daughter wrote about him, and you will see some lovely pictures that go along with it as well to illustrate what kind of adventures this little guy gets into at Christmas. So let's read the story. It's called Clyde the Camel, written by Donna Peacock and photos by Becky Peacock. Clyde comes from a land far away where flat deserts meet sharp mountains. He heard stories from his great-great-grandpa George about the great camels and their journeys around the world. He began his own journey by moving to the house of Grandma and Grandpa near the mountain that looks like a whale. This Christmas, he has made a new discovery. "It's almost time for Christmas," Grandma said excitedly one morning. "What's Christmas?" asked Clyde. Grandma said, "Christmas is the time we celebrate the birth of Jesus." "Who's Jesus?" asked Clyde. "Well," Grandma said, "that's a long story." She picked up a large book and flipped through it. "Here it is," she said, and began to read the story of Christmas from the Bible. It was new for Clyde, and he asked ever so many questions. Grandma answered patiently what she could. When they reached the part about the wise men, Clyde exclaimed, "Oh, I know this part! My great-great-grandpa George used to talk about it. There were 3 great camels, Sandrine, Clementine, and Clyde, who I was named for. They traveled across the great northern deserts and carried goldfish, frank sauce, and men to the great western sea." "Well," said Grandma, trying not to laugh, "sort of. There were men who came from the east to the area near the Mediterranean Sea. They brought special gifts for Jesus. That's one of the reasons we give gifts on Christmas." "Oh," said Clyde. He thought for a moment. "Does that mean I can bring a gift as well?" "Of course," said Grandma. "Wow!" That night Clyde thought of the best gifts in the world. "I think I can find the best gift ever for Christmas." Clyde woke the next morning and heard noises in the living room. Grandma was pulling out the Christmas tree. "Can I help?" asked Clyde. He immediately dived into a box. After smashing one pretty ball and damaging another ornament, Grandma pulled him out and told him to help her untangle the beads instead. He tried, but found that the beads tangled themselves around his feet and then wrapped themselves around his head until Grandma pulled them off. "Here," Grandma laughed, putting him on the tree. "Now you're helping me." Now the tree was up, Clyde looked for the perfect gift. Each day he found something new. He found a treasure box with shiny rocks, but Grandma told him to ask before taking anything out of boxes again. He found snacks and chocolate squares, but those could be found in any store. Then he found the perfect camel blanket. All it needed was the sticks pulled out. He tried it on and showed it to Grandma. She was upset and told him to take it off and not touch her knitting again without permission. Later that weekend, he and Grandma went to the beach together. He found lots of pretty shells, but none was quite right. "I'll never find the perfect gift," he cried one day. "Sometimes the best gift isn't a thing, but an experience shared together," offered Grandma. That seemed like a good idea. Clyde visited a museum and found a car. He liked the color, but since camels can't drive, it didn't seem like a great gift. He went to the swimming pool with Grandma and Grandpa. Camels can't swim, so he sunbathed and played lifeguard instead. He tried playing hide and seek, but no one else seemed to want to play except the fish, and they were too good at it. Finally, he decided to try making a gift. First, he tried to make a quilt like the one on Grandma's walls, but sewing is hard without hands. He helped Grandma make and decorate cookies. Unfortunately, they were too good. He ate all his before he could give one away. He finally settled on a song. He was a clever camel and soon had all the words ready. Time was running out. Christmas came in 3 days. Suddenly, Clyde realized he had no idea how to find the baby Jesus. How could he bring him his present? He decided to look around and find out. He found a few clues and thought he knew where to start. The day before Christmas, everyone went out to the desert to sing songs. Clyde found a star and tried following it to the manger. He got to the top of the first sand dune, but was too tired to go further. Grandma found him and picked him up. "Clyde, what were you doing?" "I was trying to find the baby Jesus," he sniffed. "I can't give him my present if I can't find him." "Oh, Clyde, Jesus isn't a baby anymore. That was hundreds of years ago." "Then how can I find him?" asked Clyde. "Clyde," said Grandma, "Jesus is right here." She pointed to his heart. "When you believe in him, he comes to live with you. We give gifts to each other out of love, the same love he gives when he comes to live with us." "Then," Clyde brightened, "can I give you the present?" "You may," Grandma smiled. "I wrote a song," Clyde cried, and he sang the following verse. "What can I give him, camel that I am? If he were here now, I'd give him all the sand. Singing a new song, I'd leap and lap and jump. I'll give him all myself, my tail and hoof and hump." The end.